It's book review time again, and this week we're chatting about chapter 5 in the second segment of the book. And this chapter is titled Aaron and Croydon Appealing to Vendor Emotion. And I remember this one. It was quite a while ago now, but it was a very memorable negotiation. I had a lovely client in the book. His name is Aaron, and he was looking for a property for he and his daughter. He was a single dad, and there was a fair amount of emotion there to get this step right. And we found a property that he'd particularly fallen in love with, and I knew that his budget was very borderline with what could be required to purchase this home. And I had competition. The conversations, the phone calls were going back and forth all night, and I knew that his absolute walk away maximum budget was $496,000, and there was nothing more there that we could extract. That was everything he had. And we were up against another offer of 510, and it was a really tough situation because I knew if I'd called him with bad news, he'd have a bit of heartbreak. And sometimes you can bluff with agents or throw your weight around a little bit, but in this particular case I had no bluffs. I just had a buyer that loved the property. And so what I decided to do was call up the agent and say, look, I know you're calling for best and highest offers. I will give you my best and my highest offer, but I really would love you to have a chat to the vendor about our situation. I detailed all of the aspects he loved, talked about their interior style holding so much appeal to him, mentioned that his daughter couldn't wait to move in, and then I left them to have one last think about it. They called back to say they'd love their home, the home that they'd cherished over the years, to go to someone who would love it like they had. Maybe not necessarily a commercial win-win, but an emotional win for them. A very exciting break for my buyer. That 10:35 phone call was one of the best, nicest I've had the pleasure of making, and my buyer was very emotional about the outcome. It's an interesting one, thinking that a vendor would forego that $14,000 to see the property go to someone who loves it. But it's not the first time I've come across that, and it won't be the last. In fact, I was on the other end of the fence when I had a recent dealing with a very emotional vendor who really wasn't interested in selling his property to my investor client. And that was a tough one, because even if I'd put another $10,000 on the table, the agent made it really clear, Kate, he's not interested in selling to you. He wants to see it go to a family.